presents. It's too hot. I can't move. Doesn't it ever rain?
The dirty brutes. I apologize if my language is severe or apparently unkind, but the instance of filth and offensiveness that I was witness to this morning causes me such violent palpitations that I cannot but otherwise express myself.
We should clean the wall. Mary should clean it. She did it. It's too hot. I can't move. Poor Mary couldn't go outside. It was too big. You're not supposed to go on the veranda anyway. You're supposed to cross the yard. I couldn't, not in the dark. I didn't know where to go or what might get me. The noises, the screeches and scratches. Who knows what's out there? The dogs.
On paying my morning visit, I beheld quantities of human feces about the veranda door. And in one instance, I saw that one girl had not even taken the trouble to go outside the door, but had instead soiled the wall for which her bed was lying.
Disgusting.
This is not the first instance of dirty habits. On previous occasions, girls have used their pannikins as night vessels, and in the morning dip them into the water cask for which we use for cooking.
I remember the occasion well. The girls, I think, stated that there were no utensil accommodations in the room.
They may say so indeed. After that incident, 2 new slop pails were supplied, but were only in use a few days. They were, we suspect, sold by the girls, or carelessly left out of doors and stolen.
These instances are deeply disturbing, and indicate a total lack of suitability of these Irish orphans to domestic duties as awaited. Indeed, it is a case...
They are not qualified to act as domestic servants. They exhibit habitual and systematic idleness. Their mental culture is of the worst kind, and when a situation is found for them, they very often refuse to go.
It is my belief that it is not that they are unwilling or incompetent to learn, but because they are ludicrously ignorant of anything that could make them moderately useful.
On the contrary, Mrs. Soames, so many of them are returned for their incompetency that I cannot believe they are truly willing. Only this morning I found a situation for Anne Kelly, Margaret Murphy and Catherine Dunn, and of the 3, Margaret Murphy refused to go. The same Margaret Murphy, I was informed, behaved brutally and immorally aboard ship, and was suspected in collaborating against a violent assault with the ship's chaplain.
Such corruption in one so young. You must of course strike her off the ration list for refusal to engage with suitable employers at fair wages, in accordance with the Minister of the Board.
You birds are causing trouble already. But here is treating all the way up to the 3rd floor. She's accused enough of being bad influences, not obeying our employers and coming back here.
Giving you all ideas of your station and encouraging you to refuse a perfectly respectable situation.
I couldn't go. I told her I needed a place that would take both of us. She never listens.
They always think they know better.
We refused rations today. What do you mean? That's their form of punishment here. You miss a meal. Sure, it's not too bad. You know I'll get the next one. I don't mind.
I'll put it back in my pockets.
Make sure Rachel doesn't catch us. She'll accuse us too. What happens if someone is accused of breaking the law? Most they've ever done is lock a guard in a separate room. I don't mean us. I mean someone else.
Depends what they've done.
He didn't do anything. It wasn't his fault.
They used to bring him here to the convict barrack.
They'll bring him to the courthouse first to read his charges.
You know?
Could I go there? Is there any way of finding out what's happened to my friend? Matron would never let you.
I put up with almost anything just to be away from her.
So why did you come back? I was doing fine, you know, for a bit. I mean, it was hard. I didn't know what you were on about half the time. And the difference between an Irish MacArthur and a napkin? Jesus! The things they'd expected to know. My brain was added from it all. Because in this cloth and that cloth it is, sure, decoration can have cloth too. It was so hot all the time. And I was to rise early and to bed late. And she, the mistress, Mrs. Carr, got angry at me at the table because
I brought the coffee pot full of tea instead of the teapot. Although, I should write a two-pot for Beyond Meat, and a different pot for each one too. Anyway, and then she caught me by the neck and boxed my ears, screaming that I was a wretch and a poor house brat, and to go back to the devil and find another place.
What did you do?
I wandered about the street for some time, but then I was stopped by a policeman. But he was good to me, told me they couldn't treat me like that, told me to press charges for assault. So I did. And Mr. Clark had to go to the police station to make a statement, and I went to court. No! It's not like at home, Sarah. The mayor was there, and Mr. Smith, immigration agent, and they ordered all wages due to me, and their debtors were cancelled. Gosh, that's great. Now I know a bit more about going down in a house like that. I'm hoping I'll get on better with my next one.
Could you teach it a bit? About the anti-making and all? Well, Anne used to go on about it all the time, but sure, we had no idea what she was saying.
I miss Anne.
You might hear from her. Some of the girls are too great. We keep in touch where we can. Most of them are in the same town. Same work when someone passes through.
Why'd you leave your employment, Mary?
It's not a nice story, really.
Why?
I was next door to Captain Macklin. She'd come over with us on the boat. She wasn't even 12. Skinny little thing, but so sweet. She was placed with the school teacher, and I knew he was beating her, but she wouldn't talk to me. She was too afraid of him. And so I kept sneaking out to keep an eye on her. They accused me of going to see a fella, and they weren't too happy about that. They tried to get me in, but I wouldn't stay. I don't write to her after my chores were done. But there they were, calling me a liar and a sneak and such like, till I was at the end of my tether, and I told them about the school teacher, only I have no proof. So they called me an awful, depraved thing from a line in a good, upstanding citizen's name, and they locked me in the top room, and I watched them go next door to tell him. And I knew it would be worse for Catherine after that, so that night I snuck out, leaving my petticoats behind me. I caught Mr. Williams, the school teacher, beating Catherine with a broom handle. He filled her mouth with ashes so she couldn't cry out. Oh, the beat! I could scream when I think of it. And I did scream that night. I screamed and screamed and screamed until the whole town was upon us and could see what he had done.
You won't be teaching there anymore. But why did you come back?
What happened to Catherine?
Oh, there was a lovely woman in that town.
She said that she believed she was very young, but with proper management and a little patience, she would turn out very well. She was so kind. She was so kind to us both. She said that she would look after Catherine well if I would trust her with it. And I said I would. And I came back here.
But I still don't understand. You hadn't done anything wrong.
You saved her.
They say that she threw a fit when they locked her in the room. That she tore the bed covers and curtains in a rage, and they wouldn't have her back again, of being afraid of so violent a temper.
Don't leave me, Maggie.
Immigrant Elijah Greenwood, married aged 15 years of age, 3 children. Second marriage, aged 23 years of age, 11 children. Died 1906.
Immigrant Marianne Galway, 15 years old, register 1849, Master once Ridford, register 2, number 903, report satisfactory conduct, married William Duff, gold miner shepherd, 7 children by 1865.
Immigrant Alice Ball, age 15, pregnant by employer.
Immigrant Emily Kelly, age 16, indentured to Mr. Stuart Brisbane, £12, 6 months. Married Richard McGannigan Richard McGanna. Died 23rd of March 1929.
Immigrant Mary Cassidy, married to John Williams, respected citizen and pioneer, died from eternal injuries due to a fall, 1895.
Immigrant Sarah Foley, seduced by married employer, destitute infant, 1851.
Immigrant Mary McQueenie, 1849, married James Cash.
Immigrant Sarah Cullen, 14, indentured Philip Walsh, 1849. Complains of ill usage, balance of wages, indentures cancelled.
Immigrant Mary Dillon, 14, 7 December 1849. Charges Mistress Mrs. Jane Patterson with assault. Mrs. Patterson guilty. Indentures cancelled.
Immigrant Eliza Scholl, arrived Brisbane, 1848, married Charles Dewar, 14 years of age, 7 children, died Dunwich Asylum, 1849.
Immigrant Maria Maher married William Callahan, 12 children, 29 grandchildren, 23 great-grandchildren. Prominent public figure, love of poetry and politics.
Immigrant Margaret Lally, 14, married Timothy O'Brien, dairyman, Sydney, 1857, 11 children, died 1st of September 1890.
Immigrant Mary Stevens, 18, register number 696, indentures cancelled. Indentures of Mr. J. Mackey cancelled to be sent into the country. Sydney Morning Herald, 16th of March 1849, court case. Her and others punished by Sergeant Ramsey in an inappropriate way.
Immigrant Jane Beard, 18, February 1890. Charged with improper conduct. Dismissed.
Immigrant Bridget Maher, 17 indentures, 2 years, reserved as a school assistant.
Our Roman Catholic friends have had their meetings, done their best to rescue their proteges from the charges brought up against them. The charges ought to be very carefully made, as when made, that it is equally difficult to prove or disprove them. We hold a favourable opinion on these girls because we conceive that the workhouse is not a desirable school for the formation of character, female character in particular. We believe that there is nothing more essential than the kindly vigilance of a mother's love, and these poor creatures, being deprived of that, have found a sadly inefficient substitute in workhouse rules and matron's law. We find our views in this matter confirmed to the very letter by no less than the authority of the London Spectator, who speaks as this class as
Nearly the worst sort of class can be chosen. Our poor law is in a degree a penal law. The workhouse is a sort of prison for offenders against the penal law. The girls are from the most professional paupers and therefore ill-organised, diseased and incorrigibly depraved. They are the most unmanageable and demoralised refractory in the emigrant class.
we denounce this species of emigration entirely. We denounce it as an insidious blow to our dearest interests, our nation's heart, and our national character. We denounce it as a despicable trick on the part of the British. This is a foul blot upon their vaunted standards, that she sent us penitent exiles and fitly mated them with the Irish orphan emigrants.
Oh, would you look at your man? Did you just see that horse that walked by? What in the world? Look at his spurs fixed in sockets and heels of his boots. Never mind his spurs, look at his trousers. They're cut to the quick. They look like a bit of tickling. And the hat, what is it made of? Tell me, what is it? It's a young fella with big but we wanted to see us. He's gone. Oh, bother! I always miss the good thing. Did you see him? The bushman! He's something. I nearly fainted away with astonishment. They're meant to be really strong, you know. And they never get hungry or tired or anything. And they ride hundreds of thousands of miles. And they sleep in the open bush. And they know everything about the land. But what was he doing here? He's come to get himself a wife. No. Here he is. He went straight up to Mr. Soames and said, I've come to buy me a wife. Mr. Soames really had a conniption. That I would love to see. Good heavens, Mrs. Soames. What happened to the girl?
The board, I believe, held a special meeting in relation to that case, if you allow me to elucidate. A few weeks back, Pat Ryan's wife took to drinking, and Ellen Sheedy, the servant, left Ryan's house and went to live with a relation who lived not far from Ryan. It was here that Ryan came while she was out milking the cows. He violated her forcibly and against her will.
But it was to be suspected, I suppose, going to her own people.
An unfortunate situation, Ellen.
From what I've witnessed here in my duties, these papists are as low in their ways as the blacks. And the girl, Ellen, she's expecting?
I believe so.
I don't have the facilities here to accommodate her and her child. Something must be done. I just would not be held responsible for the low moral character clearly present in the girls.
Your commitment to your duties is commendable, Major. And I will mention in my reports to the Governor how you have persisted in the task of imparting good Christian morals and manners in the execution of your guardianship of these young women. Indeed, it is the case that without strict supervision, these girls are wont to revert to their natural disposition.
And happily it is the truth.
Such corruptions in one so young.
Jesus, what happened to your face?
Leave me! Your poor face! Here, taste it. Leave me!
Ellen, let me help you. Ellen, what did it do to you?
Leave me free!
Ellen, let me help you. Please let me help you.
And why would you do that? No one has ever helped me, and no one ever will. I don't need your help, Maggie Murphy, and I don't want your pity. I get by myself. I always have and I always will.
Ellen, it's all right. I understand.
Understand? Understand? You don't know. You don't know.
It's all right. We're all here. We all know what it's like.
What do you know? You and your make-believe. You think I haven't heard you and Kathleen at it? Oh, Maggie, we'll get a house. Oh, Maggie, we'll send for Bridie. Oh, Maggie, we'll all sip tea by the fire and Brady will come to call. Oh, Maggie. Oh, bollocks. I'll tell you what I know. She's dead. Your precious Bridie is lying in her own shit. Her bones fit to pierce her skin. The sores eating at her flesh and crying. Crying all the time. Crying out your name. And you left her. You left her in the stench and the filth to die. You left her. You think you're better than me, Maggie Murphy, but you're not. You do anything to survive, just like me. No! Yes! Dada left us, you know. Just gone one morning. I told the little ones, Dada will be back soon. Dada will bring back food. But he didn't come. Michael died first. His body racked with spasms like a thing possessed. His face like an old man, all lines. Black blood running from his mouth in parts. His face all pain. And then he was gone. I knew he had to go then. And I tried to carry him. I did try. But Helen and the little baby, they were so heavy. I couldn't carry on. Helen screamed when the spasms took her. She was shaking. She was wild. I tried to hold her. She bit her tongue. No! You listen! She screamed. And she screamed. And I can hear her! After, I took the baby, wrapped her in my arms, put my shawl over her face, and pressed her close to me.
October 1848. Sir, as I'm informed, you have at the disposal of female emigrants newly arrived. I beg to say that I'm in want of 2 servants and would feel much obliged if you would send them here for me. They would be required to wash, iron, do general housework and care for my children. My family consists of myself and my wife, 2 sons and 3 small daughters. Should they prove useful servants, I will remunerate them accordingly, meantime allowing you to decide on the wages. Believe me to be, sir, your very humble and obedient servant, John S. Creelman, Surgeon.
So we got to stay together
For a while,
till Brady came.
and made her an offer of marriage.
We grew old,
And for the most part, we were happy.
but it never leaves you.
The fear.
Even now I wake in the night and walk to the press,
I opened the door.
just to look at the food inside.
The wonder of it.
All that food just sitting there.
And it's all mine.
My food in my cupboard.
And then,
I remember Bridie.